This is Lisa's historical minute, or rather minutes. This is a little bit of a longer one. I'm at Salt River Cemetery, and I'm doing Julia Ruhle. She was born Julia Johnson, June 19th of 1890 to Clifford Johnson and Sarah Gibbs. Julia's father, at 19 in 1876, bought 40 acres of solid wood land 1.5 miles west of Cahoon School, which is at Coe and Shepherd Road, just south of Shepherd. Clifford cut a spot of land for the family home and farm. They moved on the farm in 1880. Clifford and Sarah had 6 children. One of them was Julia. Julia would walk 1.5 miles to school, and Julia's education was extended through 9th grade because her teacher, Florence Childs, gave a special favor to Julia's class an extra year. Julia learned to sew early, and at the age of 16, in 1906, she was sewing for her family, her neighbors, herself, and many people in the community. She was best known for being able to make a garment from just using a person's measurements and a dress form, not a pattern. She made many vests, men's suits, fancy aprons, pajamas, square dance dresses, wedding dresses, bridesmaids, and many other garments. She made many ladies' suits, jackets, and complex patterns, like the mutton leg sleeves. Yes, she only received $1.50 for her service, and she would always work for minimal, if very little, fees. Julia started wallpapering in 1908 at the age of 18. Her first commercial job was wallpapering for Richard O'Connor, who was a grandfather to Dick and Burdette O'Connor, and she did considerable work in and around Irishtown. She married Jess Ruhle on January 1st of 1911. They had a farm near Coleman for 8 years, where their 2 sons, Kenneth and Graydon, were born. Then Julia and Jess purchased John Cahoon Farms across from the Calhoun one-room school. Then during the Depression in 1933, they lost everything. The farm, they auctioned off all of their belongings and got very little for it. Jess became a painter and a varnisher, and they moved into Chippewa on Chippewa Street into Shepherd in 1939. Julia continued to be a professional seamstress and a paper hanger for over 75 years. She kept accurate records of her wallpapering. Julia would carry her own ladder and supplies and often worked on projects that others would be considered dangerous. She only fell once, and some of her stats are from 1929 to 1970, where she papered 5,542 rooms, 368 stairways, 375 ceilings, 374 closets. Julia's sewing records were just as accurate. From 1969 to 1979, she made 763 dresses, 323 jackets, 108 pairs of slacks, 86 shirts, 131 blouses, 5 shawls, 7 shirts, 10 coats, and shortened 1,428 garments, and was still at it. The week of her 91st birthday in 1981, she made 2 dresses, 1 blouse, and shortened 7 garments. She used a new home sewing machine that was more than 50 years old, and she would press the garments with a cast iron that had to be heated on an old iron stove, fueled by coal and wood. In 1931, she had a little boy with very little money ask her to make a band uniform with a cape for only 60 cents. She gladly made the little boy the uniform with a wonderful cape with blue and gold and SHS on it. Word quickly spread of the cape, and soon she made 72 more capes for the Shepherd band. Julia kept a snapshot of the little boy and still remembered him 50 years later. Julia was a humble lady and did not boast. She insisted she was an ordinary person. She kept up a 30 by 50 plot of garden with just a hoe. She canned from the produce she grew in the garden, and she had a wooden cover over a tablet of paper with a pencil on a string on her front porch for visitors to sign and leave messages. Since she didn't have a phone, her home had not had electricity or plumbing until the 1960s. Julia was an exceptional lady and who liked to be busy. She died June 11th of 1986 from a heart attack just 8 days before her 96th birthday. She was a member of the Shepherd Order of the Eastern Stars and a member of the Shepherd Historical Society. Thanks for watching.